Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and realized you were talking in your sleep? Maybe it was a silly word, a random phrase, or even a full sentence that didn't make any sense. And maybe, just maybe, you've worried someone might have heard you. Today, we're going to explore the psychology of sleep talking, and if this happens to you, what you learn here might completely change the way you see it. Sleep talking, which scientists call somniloquy, affects nearly 70% of people at some point in their lives. Most people assume it's a sign of stress, hidden secrets, or some deep psychological issue. But the truth is far more fascinating and far more normal than you might imagine. Over the next few minutes, we're going to look at 3 things most people get completely wrong about sleep talking. First, what your brain is actually doing when you talk in your sleep. Second, how stress really affects it, and why it's not what most people think. And third, the one situation where sleep talking could actually be important. By the end, you'll see that your nighttime mumbling is not something to fear. It's just your brain being a little chatty. Let's start with what's happening in your brain. Many people assume that when you talk in your sleep, you're somehow revealing your deepest thoughts. That's not true. Sleep talking usually happens during transitions between sleep stages, when your brain is busy organizing everything you experience during the day. Imagine your brain as a giant filing cabinet, sorting memories, emotions, and experiences. Occasionally, a phrase or a word slips out, fragments that made sense during the day but now come out as jumbled nonsense. It's not intentional, it's just your brain working behind the scenes. During REM sleep, the stage most closely associated with dreaming, your brain replays events to decide what to keep and what to discard. Sometimes the part of your brain responsible for speech gets activated during this process. That's why sleep talking often sounds like random words or half-finished thoughts. It might have made sense earlier, but in the middle of the night, it just drifts out as nonsense. One study recorded sleep talkers for 6 months. Less than 10% of what people said were full sentences. The rest were random words, mutters, or sounds that didn't make sense at all. Your brain isn't betraying you. It's just noisy while it works. Now let's talk about stress. A lot of people believe stress causes sleep talking, but that's not entirely accurate. Stress doesn't make you talk more, it makes your sleep lighter. Lighter sleep simply makes you more aware of the talking that's already happening. You've probably muttered in your sleep hundreds of times when no one was around. Stress just increases the chances you, or someone nearby, will notice. Researchers even studied college students during finals week and found that sleep-talking episodes went up by 40%. But the brain itself wasn't doing anything different. The only change was how often it happened and how aware the people were of it. For most people, sleep-talking is completely harmless. But there's one situation where it can matter. Psychologists pay attention if someone suddenly starts sleep-talking in adulthood, especially if they never did before. This can be a sign of a REM sleep behavior disorder, a condition where the normal paralysis during REM sleep doesn't work properly. When this happens, dreams can start being acted out physically, and talking is often the first indication. It's not something to panic about, but if it's new and persistent, it's worth mentioning to a doctor. The good news is that if you've been talking in your sleep since childhood, there's nothing to worry about. Your brain is just chatty at night. There's no psychological problem, no hidden secrets being revealed. It's simply a normal, active mind doing its nightly work. To sum it up, your sleep talking isn't exposing your inner thoughts. Stress doesn't create it, it only makes you more aware of it. And unless it's a sudden change in adulthood, there's nothing to fear. Your brain talks to itself all day, and sometimes at night, the mute button doesn't work perfectly. Sleep talking is actually a glimpse into how your brain decides what's important and what can be discarded. Each mumble, each random phrase, is your mind sorting through laughter, worry, and everything in between. It's human, it's relatable, and it's fascinating when you really think about it. So next time you hear yourself mumbling in the night, don't panic. You're not spilling secrets, and you're not stressed beyond repair. You're simply your brain being a little loud while it works. If you want to truly understand what's happening in your mind while you sleep, insights you can't find in textbooks or random internet articles, subscribe now. We'll explore human psychology in ways that are surprising, relatable, and completely unique. Your brain is more fascinating than you think, and understanding it could change the way you think about rest forever.